Scoping out cancer. I can give you the statistics. You have heard them before. Colon and rectal cancers are the second most common cancers among men and women combined. 1 in every 20 people are at risk of getting this disease. Every spring, we hear screenings are important because this cancer is fairly common, but if caught early, it's highly treatable if found in the early stages. Yeah, we hear it every year. What I'm going to do is take you into the operating suite with me for a very personal story. My story. A story tied to a deadly family history. You will see Dr. Alex Crean, a leader in colorectal surgery, perform my colonoscopy at Memorial Hospital. He will reveal the results. Now, this was done March 30th. Keep that date in mind because of something that happened in my life less than 48 hours before. Something that changed my life and my family's life forever.
Morning, Bruce. How was the prep yesterday?
Pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, great. All cleaned out, ready to go. Routine colonoscopy every 5 years. You do have a family history of some inflammatory bowel disease, so we're going to take a good look around. If we find something, we'll deal with it together. Hopefully, clean bill of health, and then we don't need to see each other for at least another 5 years. Any questions I can answer about the procedure right now?
No.
Okay.
Been through it before, so.
All right, well, let's get it done.
Prepped by Dr. Crean, Eric, and the rest of the nursing staff at Memorial Hospital and ready to go, I was wheeled into the OR at Memorial Hospital. I mentioned this isn't about statistics. There's a very personal reason for doing this. There's a history in my family. My mother suffered Crohn's and ultimately died from cancer. In February, my sister-in-law died after a long bout with cancer. Less than 48 hours ago, my brother, who suffered from Crohn's, died as a result of small bowel cancer that spread to his abdomen. While Dr. Simon administered anesthesia, all I could think about was my brother Peter. This procedure was done at the end of March, and as I mentioned, less than 48 hours before I was wheeled into the operating suite, my youngest brother lost his battle with a brutal and rare small bowel cancer that spread to his abdomen, a cancer that left him in a great deal of pain. A cancer Pete fought with every ounce of his fiber, a fight he promised me he would not give up until he took his last breath. My little brother kept his promise, so I kept my promise to him to get screened.
We insert the colonoscope. Colonoscopies are actually done kind of in reverse if you think about it. The rectum is the end of the large intestine or colon. That's where we start. We're looking for things like polyps or other lesions of suspicion, while gently filling the colon up with air. And having the sedation or anesthetic allows Bruce here to be very comfortable and asleep while we're doing this. So that's what's called his appendiceal orifice. So looking into this right here, we take a picture of it. That's where his appendix goes. We know that's the beginning of the colon or the cecum. The other landmark is what's called the ileocecal valve. And that's basically where the large intestine meets the small intestine. And if we see something on the way in, we'll try to deal with it, but really the true screening happens after we've gotten the scope all the way into the colon. I always take photos so the patient can see them, and also for the purpose of medical documentation. So now we're at the beginning of the colon, we're working our way back towards the end, but as we do that, we're getting a 360 view of the lining of his colon. Here you can see a lot of normal findings. Those are small blood vessels that live there. And we kind of do a circumferential motion. We look up, down, left, and right to take a look at a certain area. And then we just slowly, I'm actually taking the scope out now until it's going to be all the way out. Take a little biopsy of that. That might be a small, what's called a hyperplastic polyp, which is a very normal finding in the rectum, very common. We just biopsy these to be sure.
Dr. Crean did the biopsy. I promised you total disclosure, and now it's on to recovery where my wife Christy was waiting. Here's what we found out.
So everything looked really good. First of all, your preparation was excellent. Nothing surprising. So I saw some what's called diverticulum, which are the little pockets on the colon, which a lot of people have. That can cause like diverticulitis or things like that, but these are more just incidental findings than anything else. So just kind of show you a picture of that. You can kind of see here, see how it's kind of pushed in a little bit there. There's like this little recessed space there and there. Those are what those are called.
Right.
Yeah, really not much to do about those. You can try to maintain a higher fiber diet, lower fat, and that can help keep those from getting inflamed. And then one very small polyp in the rectum or the end, it's very subtle there. These are a normal little finding. I took it out, I'll check the biopsy results and call you, but everything looked really good. How do you feel?
So fine.
Very good. Best sleep of your day, right?
Didn't feel a thing.
Yeah,
Good
that's
sleep.
great.
And given my family history, this is certainly good news.
Good news. Yeah.
So back in 5 years?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be vigilant because of that family history.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay.
Still worried about that polyp, and I waited for the biopsy. Came back later that day, and Dr. Cream was right. Polyp was benign. There was nothing to worry about. That said, given my family history, I have to be proactive. With my mom suffering a lifetime of Crohn's and dying of cancer, and my brother having died of a cancer related to the digestive tract, I can't afford to be anything less than proactive. I owe it to my wife, Christy, our kids and my grandkids. I want to be around for them a long time. And last but not least, I owe it to my brother, Peter, who's watching me from above. I owe it to him because I made a promise, a pact, to be vigilant. This picture was taken not long before he passed on the steps of our childhood home on Leonard Street in Northeast Philly. Please, do me a favor. You get screened, or urge a loved one to get screened, so you don't have to say goodbye to somebody you love when they're relatively young. And Pete, I kept my promise, baby bro. I will continue to keep that promise. I miss you. I love you.